Okay, I have my cup of coffee and I'm ready to go through the books that I read during 2024. Also, this mug is from Schitt's Creek, if you know, you know. Okay, so I was kind of tossing and turning between like just going through the books at random or going through them in the order that I read them. So we're going to go through the order that I read them, so start of the year to the end of the year. For some of these books I do not have the physical copies for. I read on my Kindle because I got my Kindle in July, but I still was reading on the Kindle app. So a couple of these I don't have the physical copies for, so I'll put the photo of the cover here or here, either side. Okay, there's quite a lot to go through, so let's get straight into it. The first book I read during 2024 I was not a fan of. It's Bunny. I love the cover. I think it's such a cute cover and I was immediately drawn to it. But while I was reading it, I couldn't grasp what the fuck was happening. I found it very, very hard to want to keep reading it, and it was just a bit of a bad start to the year because I couldn't enjoy it. I don't know. I know a lot of people have some really nice things to say about this book, but me, I'm not a fan. I didn't like it. It was very disappointing. The cover is super cute though. I love it. Very, very minimalist, very, very cute. But yeah, not a clue what the fuck happened. It felt like a fever dream. The whole time I was like, is it ending? Anyways, that's that one. The next book I read was Merged with Him, which I actually quite liked. I thought it was cute. I thought it was quite predictable, not gonna lie, but it was also like just a nice read. It was like you know how you read some like tough books, not tough books, but like heavy books, like, you know, a lot of pages, a lot of story, a lot of lore, all of that stuff. You need something nice as a buffer, like a palate cleanse, that's what they call it. I think this was a nice palate cleanse for me, coming from reading a lot of extreme horror novels during 2023, so it was a nice palate cleanse for me. Okay, this next book I'm in love with, and I feel like majority of book talk is, at least if you're on the dark romance side of book talk, I feel like a lot of us are in the same boat, and we love Haunting Adeline. I loved it. I thought it was so good. There were some bits where I was like, not too sure, but for the majority of the book, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I love dark romance. I love a bit of a taboo romance, that sort of thing. So this was right up my alley. And I loved it. I understand the hype behind it completely. Big fan. Big fan. What can I say? The next book I read is another one that I don't have a physical copy for. It was just a little, like, buffer type book for me. It was called Modern Shibari. I'll put the little photo here. Just a little book about Shibari. I liked it. It was good. I don't have many comments. It was just a nice read. The next 3 books, actually, I don't have the physical for. And one of them I'm glad I don't have the physical for, but I'll get into that. So this one is His 5 Night Stand, which I just thought was completely predictable. And also just, I don't know. It was just one of those books where I was like, I could have spent my time reading something else, but, you know, I'm glad that I've read it, so I know not to invest more time into that book, because otherwise you sit there and you're like, oh, I wonder if I like that book, I wonder if I like that book. Now I know that I do not like that book, so, you know, whatever. Next one that I read is called Gothicana, and I really, really enjoyed this book. I know a lot of people have some negative thoughts on it, but I don't care. I liked it. I thought it was really nice. I think it should be left where it was, though. I don't think that there should be a sequel to it. I think if anything they should make a prequel to it. I think that would be nice. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was such a nice light read with a nice amount of smut to story. I just thought it was, like, I was invested. I was really invested. Next one is an extreme horror novel, whatever you want to call it. It's called 100% Match. I hated this book. Every second that I read it, I hated it. I hated it so much. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Felt really, really rushed. Felt like someone came up with an idea and was like, let's go. Let's not put any thought into it. Let's write it on my work break and then publish it. I just didn't like it. The whole time I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, another fever dream book, I swear. Okay, next one is Hunting Adeline, which I loved. I like both books for different reasons. I like Haunting Adeline for the smut and the story. I love Hunting Adeline for the story. I think by the time the first book was over, I was invested. I'm invested in these characters. Honey Sparking. I'm invested in these characters. So Hunting Adeline was just like I could continue those stories, and not necessarily for the smut. The smut was good, but also just I was too far gone. I needed to know more. I needed to know what happened. Like, I needed more information. Very much enjoy that series in general. I love the way that she writes. It's just great. Another one I do not have the physical copy for is called The Vessel. I'm like 50-50 with this book. I don't know. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. It was a quick read. It was nice, but again, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about some things. Okay, the next books I read was the Salacious Players Club series. I freaking love these books. I love them. I read them so quickly. I love them so much. I read them all on Kindle, I'm pretty sure, and I had to buy the physicals because, first of all, these covers are gorgeous. Like, are you kidding? They're all just so stunning in their own ways. I couldn't get enough. I honestly could not get enough. And they're gorgeous. Those books, oh my god, I love them so much. I was invested, and I loved the way that the books tied in with each other, and the characters tied in with each other, and I don't want to go too much into detail just for spoilers and stuff, but like, you just get invested. I think I cried a couple times as well, which I wasn't expecting, because I don't really cry with books. Okay, the next one I don't have a physical copy for either, but it is called Same Time Next Year. I thought this was a cute little story. It was predictable, but it was one of those ones where it's like, I know what's going to happen. I can see the outcome already, but I'm not going to stop reading. This next one is my first Frida McFadden book, Ward D. It was a good start to my Frida McFadden journey, honestly. I think I went well with reading this one first. I don't know what made me choose reading this one first. I think I saw it on Kindle Unlimited, and I was like, you know what? I hear everyone yapping on about Frida McFadden, and I want to see what the fuck is going on. So, I saw what the fuck is going on, and this book I loved. I know some people have complaints, but I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I love this book. I thought it was so good. Next one I don't have a physical copy for, but I probably will be getting a physical copy of this book soon, just because I love the cover, but also it was more of a what the fuck am I reading sort of book. If you've read Haunting Adeline, you probably have heard of Little Stranger, and if you haven't, I'd probably read it, to be honest, just because it's more of a what type of book. Look, I didn't hate it. I spent most of the time saying what the fuck, but it was hard to put down as well. On to my next Frida McFadden book, which was The Coworker. I enjoyed this. I didn't love it as much as I loved Ward D, but it was still good. I did find myself wanting to know more. I wanted to keep reading. I wanted to find out what happened, and I was invested in the characters. This one I was surprised, but not surprised at the same time. It was like one of those, I don't know. The next one I don't have a physical copy for either, but it's called Unhinged Desires. I can't remember the author. I'll put it down anyways, but I did like this one. It's not a series I'm going to continue. Like, I was happy I read it, but also I'm not going to keep reading it, I don't think. I don't know, maybe one day I'll be like, oh, you know what, let's try that. But for now, it's not on my list at all. Okay, the next one is called Does It Hurt? I liked this book, sort of. I don't know. I think I gave it like a 3-star rating, which isn't bad in my opinion. Interesting story, being like a shark researcher. I thought that was something different. You know, usually it's not a shark researcher, so I thought that was fascinating. The next book is the Mindfuck series, and this was indeed a mindfuck. I did not look up a single thing of this book, and I had never heard of this book before. I loved this book. I thought it was so good. And like the whole serial killer falls in love with FBI agent that's trying to hunt her down was so like, oh, yes, yes. You know, like it's just one of those things where I'm like, oh my god, yes, I love this, I'm invested, I need to see what happens. I need to see how, you know, shit goes down. I need to know more. The next is probably one of my favorite books that I read this year, in 2024, it's 2025 now. Frickin' Fourth Wing, bitch. Oh my god, I understand the love and the hype for this fucking book. I understand. I love this book so much. I'm so excited for Onyx Storm. Just Xaden. Oh my god. The next one I read was Priest. I found this one so freaking predictable. I didn't hate the book while I was reading, but I didn't love it either, so it was very like conflicting for me, but I also wanted my numbers up for my Goodreads score. The next ones that I read were the Housemaid series by Frida McFadden. Loved the Housemaid. Housemaid's Secret was more of a and then Housemaid is Watching, loved this one. We did not need this. This could have been added into one of the books. I don't think having this was necessary. And then the last book I read in 2024 before starting Iron Flame was The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie. The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie. Fuck me. This book, oh my god. Oh my god, I know it's meant to be like satire, and I know it's funny, it is funny. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was just such a good jab at like thriller books, and I find it even funnier that Frida herself writes thriller, like psychological thriller, like all of that sort of stuff, and she's taking a jab at those type of novels. I just thought it was so fucking funny. Anyway, so that is everything that I read in 2024. I'm definitely hoping to add more to that, this year. I'm hoping that I get more read this year. I definitely have a lot on my plate. There's a lot of books here that I have not read yet. I buy books faster than I can read them, which is a problem, but also I'm you know, like stocking up for the winter or whatever the saying is, you know. That's exactly what I'm doing. That's what's happening here. I don't have a problem or anything, it's fine. But anyways, I need new bookshelves because these Kmart ones are not cutting it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.